movie right here. He's like, all right, so we're going to make it where I go back in time and dead. I give Professor X help again, and everything works out except I get shot by a new Sentinel that nobody knew existed. And I take him out as I die and evaporate and something stupid like that. All that's left is claws in his face. Perfect.
Well, Bone Clawed Wolverine's not going to do... God, I hate that so much. And the worst part is like all the X-Men First Class people...
I kind of killed the momentum for a split second with
like,
that.
Matthew Vaughn, evidently, when he was working with the actors on First Class, he was like, look, this is a reboot of the series. Don't worry about cloning Patrick Stewart or Ian McKellen's performances. Yeah, that's changed.
Yeah, I've noticed. I was like, God damn it.
Now, fucking, what's his name as Magneto is evidently going to be consciously trying to...
And I know that Michael Fassbender is kind of cringing at this. He's not talked this up as much as he has a lot of his other films, and he has some very major work coming out. And I'm beginning to wonder if he's worried that it will actually hurt his serious career. He has a film due out in the next 2 weeks where he plays actually it's a film about racism.
I think it's already out.
It is out already? Okay,
because I saw a review of it.
Yeah, doesn't he look like a fucking psychopath in that?
Yeah. I've heard it's really good.
I have too. And I've seen about 2 minutes worth of just mid-movie footage, and it's compelling as hell. And then I have to look at what they're doing to him in this new X-Men movie going, oh, that poor bastard.
Well,
I really feel bad for him because he's actually a really good actor.
First Class.
Really, Fassbender is a very good actor. I love his work. And then that.
I know you haven't seen First Class. And First Class isn't...
And I kind of want to now because it'll be the standout part of it, and I know that there's going to be shit before it, and now it's going to be shit after it. And I don't want to be like that diamond in a turd. Yeah. I just like... I can't. And I like Fassbender. I really do. I like his work.
He did an excellent Magneto.
And more than anything, I want to see Michael Fassbender do... I want to see him play brothers with Tom Hiddleston. They look just enough similar that I think they could get away with it. But it's now basically Captain Picard impressions that they have to do and Gandalf, and I got that out of that trailer.
Well, and the other confusing parts about the trailer,
and an awful lot of Professor X crying.
Here's the other thing.
I don't have...
They have multiple scenes. Sometimes Professor X is walking. Sometimes he's in a chair. Is this astral projection? I don't know.
Or is it hallucination?
They show Beast without his blue fur with Professor X and Wolverine. Did he cure himself and then just fuck himself again? Like, I know he does that in the comics a few times. That's one of the details they should leave behind in the movies. Just let him do it once and that's it.
Honestly, I just wish they would stop doing Beast because they have yet to do him on film correctly. He always looks like a fucking mess. And every time the best they get out of it is it looks like they got the color processing wrong on film footage of a pirate.
Well, in First Class, in their defense, they were doing the effects and makeup for that as they were filming. Like, they had 3 months to make that fucking movie. And they made a good movie, but the Beast costume was horrible.
I know. And I mean, literally, if you're going to do this, I mean, they should at least remember that everyone always depicts him in the comics as having more cat-like fur, something more smoother. Instead, it all comes out, scruffy, rough, piratey looking. And instead of being Bluebeard, it's Blue Guy, Arr! It's like, no, stop it. Just quit putting him in there. If you have to put fur on him, make him look... And honestly... appeal to the furry crowd and actually make him look better with it.
What are you saying, Scott? Stop. Just stop that right there.
It's the only way they're going to make the movie successful at this point.
Yes, because I want to enjoy it too.
So they haven't done any effects.
I'm sorry. This is too much.
So they haven't done any of the effects for the movie yet. Nice. So they released this trailer without showing us a Sentinel, which I think is going to be the major selling point of the movie. Even though the Sentinels honestly look like they should be called lowercase I Sentinel.
Yeah.
Like, just make them white and they'll look like a fucking Mac product.
Yeah, they have that milky white plastic polycarbonate kind of look, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
No.
I like this idea. You could put Steve Jobs' consciousness inside the Sentinels.
Yeah.
And they come and take over.
They wouldn't have to shoot anybody.
No, because people would willingly submit.
I don't know how they're going to do this. Like, a third of the movie's supposed
to... They just showed them, this is insanely great. Mutants,
have you
they're
seen
like,
the
they're
new
like
Apple product? It's a Sentinel. I'm in.
Sentinel OS. You know, but you gotta have the Steve Jobs voice though. You gotta have that higher timbre kind of thing he does. It's insanely great. That other stuff, Mutants, they're like Windows 3.1.
A Sentinel in a turtleneck.
That's just rubber grommeting for all the servo motors.
That'd be great. I want to see that now.
Oh my god, that's so wrong.
I don't know. I'm bitter about this movie. I'm happier since I've realized that Bryan Singer very likely will negate all the other X-Men movies with this.
Including his own. Well, you know, he won't negate his own. He likes himself too much for that.
I don't know.
I have to say, this is one big advantage of not being a big comic book fan is I can go watch comic book movies and not worry about hating it too much.
Well, see, I didn't hate...
Except in it just being a bad movie.
Here's the problem.
Which happens.
Granted,
I am
yes.
open to change in these movies. But the problem is
You
one...
do have to separate
X-Men 1 or 2...
movies, otherwise it just...
X-Men 1 or 2 are basically
Never
the
be.
Tim Burton of the comic book movies of the last 10 years.
I will say this much. X-Men
Oh,
2
dear.
I like, and I will still say I like it, but I like it enough and I like it in this weird sense because it is so self-contained that it actually makes X-Men 1 completely unnecessary.
Well, X-Men 1's a terrible movie.
Yeah.
It is.
Like, if you watch it, like Anna Paquin, does her accent terrible. Hopefully when she comes back as Rogue in this next movie,
Which she does,
she
yeah.
will realize that her True Blood accent is her Rogue accent, and she won't go back to the horrible,
Whatever that
horrible
was.
thing that she did at
Seriously,
one.
what was that accent even supposed to be?
And let's pray to God she can fly and punch things instead of just
geez.
being...
Oh, she was
just sit
useless.
somewhere and be be kind of like, oh.
It's another one of my favorite comic
At
characters
least-
that they lobotomized
Yeah.
and fucked in the
I mean,
ass.
it's quite enjoyable when she absorbs someone's energy and just goes completely off
Yeah.
the deep end.
Yeah, just pegs the meter the wrong way.
But it's-
yeah.
But here's
exactly.
the other thing: is I get that Wolverine is probably the most popular character in the Marvel universe.
And you
He's
love
had
that.
what X-Men 1, 2, 3, X-Men Origins, and the Wolverine, and more than likely Days of Future Past. The X-Men have 80 some odd characters. The X-Men are the most racially diverse cast of characters. They have
And they're also one of the more well thought out on accident for the most part.
yes.
Until you get to dumb shit like Cable.
But
But
there's no reason not. Well, we're gonna get an X-Force movie. But,
yeah, I know.
and it
Yeah,
will
just
probably have Cable and fucking Wolverine in it.
Yeah, Wolverine again.
Of course.
It's
Wolverine
probably
has
going to
to
be the Wolverine Deadpool lineup of
And it's
X-Men.
sad. And it's
Oh.
sad that Wolverine is always the most kick-ass character in video games too.
And it's fine. Okay, look, he's a popular character. He has some things in him that are cool. We don't need six movies in a universe where there's hundreds of interesting
Yeah.
characters that you're reducing to two-note characters.
yeah.
I mean, Storm is one of my favorite characters, and they put a terrible actress such as Halle Berry playing her.
I know, but
then
at the
they
same
give
time,
her-
who are they going to get? And that's the problem
Yeah.
that I ran into is that number one, Halle Berry can act. I've seen her
Yeah.
do real acting, but what the fuck that was? Just like when she did Catwoman,
And
made
it is
no
an
sense.
unfortunate state of Hollywood that there's not a lot of they don't accept a lot of good black female actors. And
So-
that's
and
true
the- and
with-
the- and
that's true
worse-
with Asians
well,
as well.
and
And
it's
let's
true,
be
but
real,
it-
guys.
it's true,
Halle
but it's
Berry
worse.
is 50% black.
yeah.
We need someone from fucking Africa playing that damn
Let's-
role.
let's-
I want
it's like
a
Obama,
black
our first
motherfucker
half
as,
black
Well, see, the
as
thing
or
is-
not Rogue, I'm sorry, Storm.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. I see. Facial structure wise, though, there's also a problem that no prominent black actress in America right now looks the part.
No, that's true.
The closest you get is Naomi Watts, and I'm not going to call her an actress.
Honestly, here's the deal with Storm. You
Kind of
don't
ovoid face and more.
You don't have to
Only
get-
Iman were an actress.
See, now that's when they were original. When James Cameron was doing an X-Men movie back in 1990, I thought Iman would have been perfect for that because she
Yeah.
was She has the demeanor, she has the face, and she actually has, because she's got that
Iman
lower
would have been
pitched
amazing.
voice.
Here-
she really has an unfazed. I will fuck you up. kind
Here's
of
my opinion
thing,
on
and
Storm.
didn't
Like,
happen.
what you need to make her work on screen is
And
not
she's an okay
necessarily
actress.
the look. You need an actor who has the dominant presence that character has.
Yeah.
That leading confidence, that
Yeah.
unbatting dominance.
Absolutely,
Agreed.
and I agree, and I can only think of one offhand that really can do that.
Because
right.
Storm really did have the potential to run the first two movies. Somehow Storm ends up leading the X-Men after the second one, but after watching it, you kind of wonder why she's just not strong enough.
It's really just Wolverine leading them and
It's
Storm.
it's like when I watched
supporting him.
Here we go.
a strange
Gina
comparison
Torres.
when I watched Hedwig
I
and
could
the Angry
see-
Inch. It's a rock musical. When I watched it in Korean, they made it a very kind of character.
There.
Which
I could
was
see
weird.
Gina Torres doing it.
Gina Torres, I would love.
She
Those,
has-
those eyebrows, yeah.
She does have the presence.
She definitely does, and I mean, just looking at what she did playing Zoe in
Those eyebrows
Firefly.
alone do-
You know what?
Yeah,
Combine her
yeah.
Zoe with Jasmine from Angel, where she played a god,
Bam.
with a little bit of the sexiness of Cleopatra 99,
Mm-hmm.
which I've never actually seen. I'm just hoping she was actually sexy in that.
Nice.
But honestly, she might be getting too old for it at this point. But
I don't care. I love her, and she should do it. Just like I would totally accept her playing Wonder Woman.
an interesting bit of trivia I read recently. Evidently, Joss Whedon is responsible for that dumbass Storm line. Do you know what happens to a toad when it gets struck by lightning?
Oh God!
And I read an
yes.
interview with him, and he said he was pissed off about it. He was like, here's the thing. When you write a script, you don't get to talk to
She's
the
the
actors.
top.
And the problem was the delivery.
Yeah.
Because she was supposed to say the same thing as everyone else, as everything else. Like, it was just kind of under her breath, kind of whatever.
Yep.
Which would have made a huge difference if they hadn't done it as some dramatic
Yeah.
line with a punchline.
Yep.
Of course,
Another
that-
actress
that's
I would
kind of-
Evidently,
Yeah.
the original line was even worse. I can't remember what it was, but it was really bad.
I'm sure. Another actress that I would love to see take a stab at Storm, Rosario Dawson.
Yeah,
Is she black?
She's
At
multi-ethnic
least-
actually.
partially. Yeah.
She is a very
She's-
attractive
if,
woman.
if I may be sexist for a moment, yeah, she's gorgeous.
Afro-Cuban.
Is that really
And,
sexist?
and,
this,
well,
get this,
and
get this.
she's
Hold
always
on,
fun to
hold on.
watch as a character actor as well. She's
Culturally
always
speaking, she
amazing
is
to
Puerto
watch.
Rican and Afro-Cuban.
How fun!
She is
She is
an
fantastic,
extremely attractive woman.
unreasonably pretty, and her performance in Hannibal
And
was
she's just
was
yeah,
lovely.
She's amazing to watch.
Anyone who's
And
seen that knows
everything
what
she's
See,
I-
what would be sexist is if you started talking about Alexander.
or if that were all that mattered. Was
That's
Because
actually,
she's
Which
kind of
brings me
naked
to
in that
speaking-
movie.
that's actually the one I
Speaking
meant
of Joss-
because I didn't mean Hannibal. I meant Alexander because
Oh,
that.
yeah.
But she actually did a good job with that. I mean, not even counting the part where she got naked. She actually
So-
did it well.
Hey, I can rant about X-Men for hours on end.
Uh-huh.
So
and I,
let's.
and I would continue to have nothing to add.
I guess let's continue on with some Marvel stuff.
And in fact, as far as literature goes, I can only add non-fiction to the list, as that's pretty much what I've read.
Well, let me pull a shield over this and be an agent of change.
Uh,
And let's talk about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Okay, let's start out very briefly. Let's go around the table.
Fired.
I say that. You probably haven't seen it, have you?
I tried.
Okay.
But the problem is, it's just another television show, the same as the rest, but with the name and a few different gadgets. That's what I found from it. So it just
So
it
you didn't
lost
like it?
me. It lost me the same as every television show does.
Okay.
They're just trying to put a different name on it to give it some
Okay.
cred.
Well,
We'll
if
talk-
you'd
we'll
actually, if you'd watched more,
We'll expand on that a little bit more.
can't.
I just want everyone to give kind of their brief
can't.
opinion real quick for starting out. Scott, where do you stand on
I've been
this?
watching the whole thing and I enjoy the shit out of it.
Okay, my
But
opinion.
I get what you're saying, but you have to actually get through a few episodes.
Well, there's just
And
such
there's-
a formula involved in those evening dramas
So-
now that I can't handle.
so
that
we're,
anymore.
before we really get
I
into
don't
the
even watch
discussion,
TV.
let me
Okay.
give my brief opinion
Yes.
too.
No.
I, for the
No, we
most
don't have time
part,
for this.
enjoy it. I don't think it's great yet. But I think back to Whedon's
Could be, though. It
Dollhouse,
could be.
which didn't turn into an amazing show until
See-
about episode 8.
Exactly what I was about to say. That it's doing the exact same ramp up pattern that all series that Whedon has come up with do, and that is
Well-
that it starts out kind of okay, and you're kind of going, well, I don't know, and you keep
could be
sitting
that,
through it, and it
but
gets
I
better and
can't
better
wait-
and better,
Well,
and
the-
you get, well, that's a personal problem.
All Whedon
It
stuff.
is, because I hate television to the degree that I can't wait. If the first episode's not good, I'm sorry.
I liked the first episode. The ending was a bit too cheesy for me, but I can forgive it because I knew there was going to be more, and I expected it knowing what Whedon is doing. And it is ratcheting up incrementally, episode by episode. It's getting more interesting, but he does that thing where he goes through and uses at least half a season,
That
of
works.
half of season one as establishment of your
That
Well,
character.
works.
here's the
way.
other thing is
But, like, Firefly comes
Firefly
right away.
was amazing from episode 2 and on. I would argue that
Absolutely.
episode 1 is not amazing. About halfway
Fair
through
enough,
it gets
fair enough.
good.
Yeah.
It's near the end of that episode where he starts defying the different tropes. And
It
Agents
really
of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
does get your attention.
we have gotten a couple moments of defying tropes, because they have the episode where the Rising Tide member that's on S.H.I.E.L.D., I can't remember her name.
And I just blanked on it too. Sky?
She goes back